Welcome back. Now, if there's one thing you can count on during the cold Caribou winters, it's that we have a lot of ice. If you're like me and playing on ice really isn't your thing, then our next story might be just for you.
It's an ancient sport that has been glorified and highlighted by movies like The Princess Bride. And for some, it's those exact Hollywood films that spark the love for the sport.
We Cyrano de Bergerac, starring Jose Ferrer. I saw it in about 1951, and I always wanted to fence, and I never had the opportunity until I was in Williams Lake. I didn't start fencing until I was 54.
Wow, okay.
And it's what I always wanted to do, so.
And although fencing has been around for close to 500 years, Williams Lake Fencing Club coach Richard Rodelander believes it's a sport that never lost its fundamental values.
Fencing was taught as a non-combat way to learn to use a sword. The sport developed with the intention of teaching young men how to duel. In Europe, it used to be that young men were sent to Spain for finishing. They would learn to dance, they would learn a musical instrument, they would learn to write poetry, they would learn to ride, and they would learn to fence.
The weapon is pretty light in weight, and all I have to do is jab my opponent? Well, how hard could that be, right? After taking a jab at the sport, I realized there was more to it than just the physical exercise.
This is, sure, it's a physical game, but it's also very, very psychological. And it teaches you to, in the first place, deal with what is right in front of you.
Okay.
There's not a lot of long-term planning here, right? Because it's just the next point.
Okay.
And a lot of times when people are very competitive, they get focused on winning.
Yep.
Well, the only thing that you want to win is the next point.
It's no surprise why these young teens enjoy coming to practice every week.
It's invigorating, I guess you could say. Since I was a kid, I've been interested in swordplay, so this is what really called to me.
Getting defense, getting to try just this sport with the combination of attacking and with the technicalness of it.
Seeing how quickly the reflexes kick in, it's kind of startling how 1 second you're just standing there and 1 second you're whizzling your sword around, and you know, it's adrenaline pumping.
This practice group has no age limit, and anyone who is interested are welcome to join practices every Tuesday evening at Mount View Elementary School. Meanwhile, Richard and the athletes will continue practicing, making sure they will always be on guard for the next opponent. For Go Williams Lake, I'm Christina Zhang.
Well, that just about wraps up this episode of Go Williams Lake. As always, you can visit me on Facebook, Twitter, or even my website to see what I'm up to. Now, as for me, all this archery is making me want to go home and watch Hunger Games.